Ready? Town clerk? Ready?
Yeah.
Ready, folks? Everyone's good? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our regular council meeting of May 23rd, 2023. Call the meeting to order. Can we get the approval of the agenda for the May 23rd, 2023 regular council meeting? Moved by Councillor Doyle, seconded by Councillor O'Grady. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded, motion passed. And can we get the adoptions of the minutes of the regular council meeting of May 9th, 2023? Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded, motion passed. Business arising from the minutes.
Being restored.
Okay, we'll move on to number 5, proclamations. There's one proclamation. That's for Operation Smile Canada. Proclamation, Longest Day of Smiles, June 18th, 2023. Whereas Operation Smile Canada is a global medical charity providing free, life-changing surgeries and medical care to children born with cleft conditions around the world. And whereas every 3 minutes a child is born with cleft condition, and a lack of access to safe, effective surgery means that easily treatable conditions like cleft lip and cleft palate can become fatal. And whereas Operation Smile Canada believes every child born with cleft condition deserves exceptional surgical care. And whereas the Longest Day of Smiles will unite Canadians from coast to coast to coast as they raise awareness and funds. And whereas on June 18th, 2023, the citizens of Carbonear are encouraged to learn more about how to support this worthy cause by visiting www.longestdayofsmiles.ca. And whereas our community can help celebrate the Longest Day of Smiles by posting hashtag Longest Day of Smiles on social media. And therefore, I, Frank Butt, Mayor of Town of Carbonear, do hereby proclaim June 18, 2023 as Longest Day of Smiles in 2023 and commend its thoughtful observance to all the citizens of our municipality, dated this 23rd day of May, 2023. Can we get a mover and a second? Moved by Councillor O'Grady, seconded by Councillor Noel. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded? Motion passed. We'll move on to number 6, permits and correspondence. Councillor Doyle.
If everybody wants to take a look at slide number 4 in their Dropbox, I don't think there is any conflicts there, but I just want to confirm that one name of a councillor listed on the permit listing is not the name, is not actually this particular councillor. They just share the same name. So that's not you, correct? Okay, perfect. Just want to make a motion to approve permit listing 10-191 to 10-200.
Moved by Councillor Doyle, seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded? Motion passed.
And that's it.
And move on to 6.3, correspondence received and action taken. You can have a look down through there. Okay, move on to number 7, committee reports, administration and finance. Councillor O'Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The main report is number 5 in your Dropbox, so you can take a read down through it. There's not a lot for me to discuss. There are some Some items, a bunch of items that we're working on, some heritage grants and some, properties we're putting up for sale and things, but you can read down through it. We did get some correspondence from Municipal Provincial Affairs, which I guess you've all seen it. It's about the provincial government. I guess they want to do a collaboration and sharing services. This is the government's next step towards, I guess, some kind of regionalization. They want to address some service gaps that some communities may have and try to build some collaborative sharing services with adjoining towns. So it's something I guess we'll look at ourselves. Other than that, we're hoping to have the strategic plan release very soon. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks. Other than that, I don't have anything else to discuss. If anyone's got any questions.
Any questions for Councillor O'Grady? Nope. Thank you. We'll move on to number 7B, Public Works, Waste Management, and Community Services. Deputy Mayor Slade.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Of course, the minutes is there for all council to view. If you have any questions afterwards, please feel free to ask. I have two motions to come forward. Resolution number 1, whereas the town of Carbonear call for tenders for a HVAC service contract, and whereas Ainsworth Inc. tender is low bidder and is in good order, be it resolved to award a service contract to Ainsworth Inc. for the estimate value of $14,148 plus HST, and I so do move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Resolution number 2, with respect to Water Street Phase 2, 17-G1-21-000075, whereas the contractor had requested an additional 7.5 working days for construction schedule related to extra work on the project, and whereas the consultant has reviewed and recommended approval, be it resolved to approve change order number 1 to add 7.5 working days to the contractor's schedule. And I so do move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Dial. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion passed.
And that's it for me, Mr. Mayor. Anyone?
I just had one quick question. I don't know if it's a typo or if it's just, it goes through multiple committees. Under Business Arising, Bankers Pub, the proposals, it said it would be reviewed in Administration and Finance, and it was reviewed in Development. Up at the beginning, under Business Arising.
Oh, in the community.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter. It's the same it's kind of crossover between finance and administration and development, but it was we had discussed it in development as well. So I just wanted to.
Sometimes our vote committees.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Sometimes 3 committees cross over. 4.
In this case, it's 3, yeah.
Yeah. But I just wanted, where some recommendations would be coming in the next few weeks from development on it. I just wanted to make sure it was going through the right committee.
Any other questions or concerns? I'd like to add now that the water has been turned on to the town, so it's posted out there on our social media as well as our Connect. So there will be a boil order until further notice as well. Okay, we'll move on to 7C, Development. Councillor Doyle.
Just 1 second there now. I updated Dropbox and it's slow. Okay. The Development Committee met on May 18th. Under Business Arising, we have a couple of things. One of them was waiting on a discretionary use advertisement to close. That has now closed, and we will have a further update on that development at our next council meeting. The deadline for the public consultation for the municipal plan is Friday, May 26th, and that's very important for residents to take part in that. I guess I've kind of told people, like, if you have a complaint about you haven't been able to build a particular kind of a fence, or you want to have a business in a certain part of area, or you want a certain section of town to be rezoned to meet the changing needs of the town, then this is your opportunity to have your say, because once the plan is done, this is a very expensive plan to review, and it's very detailed, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of consultation. And this is going to be the plan that the town is going to use to make its decisions for the next 10 years. And these are the guidelines in which your elected officials need to follow, because they're the rules and regulations as set forth by the municipality. So if you have any questions or concerns, or want to contribute, you need to make sure that you do that by the deadline. I think at the review they said that it would be late summer, early fall by the time the draft was done. And at that time, people could provide additional feedback at that opportunity. So that's just your friendly reminder. Sorry, there's something going on my iPad. We have a number of development applications. I'll go through those motions in a minute. We had some correspondence about an inquiry of a construction of a greenhouse, and that has been addressed. Under the MEO report, we had a number of motions that'll be coming from the MEO report. And just a reminder to residents again, if you are doing development on your property, you need to obtain the proper permits for fences, greenhouses, accessory buildings, anything that requires development. It saves everybody a lot of trouble when the permits are obtained ahead of time, so residents know what they can do on their property. So, if everybody wants to look at, hold on now, 7A. All right. Resolve to approve the following applications in accordance with applications submitted, the Town of Carbonear Municipal Plan, and the development regulations and other conditions as specified. To construct a garage at 24 High Road North, conditional upon the garage being constructed behind the building line of the dwelling on both High Road North and Hoyles Road. Number 2, to remove an existing shed and construct a new shed at Lot 44 in the Line Road, conditional upon receipt of applicable approvals from the Department of Environment and Climate Change, Water Resources Division, Digital Government and Service NL, and other applicable government departments and agencies. To place rocks at 51C Water Street, conditional upon approval from the applicable government departments and agencies, and to replace the front step at 46 Pikes Lane per Section 10, discretionary powers of council.
Moved by Councillor Dahl, seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion?
I just want to make a note there that those steps for new councillors, sometimes it will happen in the older sections of town that that one has to be discretionary because it is in the road reservation, but you do have to have a step to get into your house. So what's being replaced there is exactly what's there now. That's what that one's about.
All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Resolution number 2, resolve to send an order to cease business operations at 48 Powell Drive, operating contrary to the Town of Carbonear Municipal Plan and Development Regulations.
Moved by Councillor Dahl, seconded by Councillor O'Grady. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Resolution number 3, resolve to refuse the application to place portable shelter at 8 Hayden Heights Place contrary to the Town of Carbonear Municipal Plan and Development Regulations.
Moved by Councillor Doyle, seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Resolution number 4, before I make that, has everybody read their minutes to see what the YOLO Nomads advertising package is? Yes? Okay. I don't know if our EDTO wants to speak to that.
Nope. Okay.
No?
That's fine.
Just explain what it is and how it would benefit the community.
So it's a recruitment tool. It's a recruitment tool that we use. That one is probably the worst one handy. Yeah, something that yells and getting off. Not that one here. Hello. No, it's in here. All right. I'll just say so it's a recruitment tool. We can actually choose out of 4 different areas. It could be developers, investors, skilled laborers, skilled professionals, physician recruitment. So we will choose out of the 4 areas, 2 areas that we want to recruit from. And then that company has already got a distribution list. They already have a wide span of people that already see what they produce. And they'll kind of be our agent, in a way.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Resolve to contract YOLO Nomads for a single community package at a cost of $5,434 Canadian, including the setup fee.
Moved by Councillor Doyle, seconded by Councillor Noel. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
And the last one, resolve to send order to remove the deck at 154 Forest Road, contrary to the Town of Carbonear Municipal Plan and Development Regulations.
Moved by Councillor Doyle, seconded by Councillor O'Grady. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
And that is it for us.
Any questions for Councillor Doyle?
Just a comment on 46 Pipes Lane. That's something that in development meetings comes up quite a bit. Buildings and fences that are in the road reserve because they're old. And I think all councillors should give some thought when we're renewing the town plan and the regulations, maybe buildings and fences that predate the town and are in the reserve, that we should grandfather them in so they don't have to come up for discussion all the time. People got to be able to get into their house.
We can't override the provincial legislation, and the provincial legislation exists that nothing is allowed to be put in the road reservation. And to the best of my knowledge, the only exception is made is that you can't have a front door on a second story and expect residents to get into the house. But we have asked multiple times all kinds of legal opinions, and municipal legislation can't override the provincial legislation when it comes to what's in the road reservations.
Okay, I called Municipal Affairs probably 6 or 9 months ago on the same issue, and they said to me that yes, the town's rules can't overrule the provinces, but it's only for one road, the highway that goes through the town. They said what Carbonear does with their little lanes and roads and what this setbacks they have and things would be up to the town of Carbonear. So I don't know if they gave me the wrong information or whatever, but that's something maybe we can clarify.
I think it's a very good point, Councillor Snow, that you brought up. In the older part of town, and I'm referring to places like Irishtown or down across the Doors or, these type of places, that there was houses built there a long time. Actually, before there was a town of Carbonear. As it pertains to, when we incorporate. So, you know, like, my understanding of it is, if somebody wanted to put on a step, say, for instance, Councillor Doyle, I'll just use that one for instance, and as the rules pertains today, that would be not, they would be non-conforming as the rules pertain today. So you're not going to stop somebody from putting the step back on their house.
No, that's why we use the discretionary powers of council when it comes to the steps.
And we need to.
Yep.
You know, this is the older section of town. Now, my thought on it was that you can exist as it is right now, as long as you don't make it more non-conforming than it already is.
Yep. And the town clerk can speak to that. You can replace fences, but it has to be post by post, correct? The same material, same everything that existed. It can't be moved. No further changes can be made. And the town clerk can speak to the legislation. But we've been told in the councillor training that we all just went through. I know that it was an 8-hour session, but I mean, they even repeated it in that you can't put anything in the road reservation.
No.
Yes, and everything that exists prior to the plan coming into effect can remain. So it is grandfathered in. However, if that, if a particular house ends up being demolished because they're going to use it to build a new house, then the new house has to conform to the existing regulations. But everything that does exist can continue to exist.
Yes, no, that's in the historic district, and that doesn't have setbacks.
That's right.
Councillor Seymour.
I got two questions, and one of them is a cease order on a business that's here. Is under the resolutions.
Hold on, now which one is,
Resolution number 2.
Yep. They have been given.
48 Powell Drive.
Is
that something that's been ongoing for a long time?
It's been ongoing for a long time. They have not completed their permit application. I think the EDTO could probably speak to it better than I. They've been given this stuff for service now multiple times, and this is kind of the last. It's been on the agenda maybe for a year and a half, and in order to operate a business in town Carbonear, you have to have a business permit.
I understand. I
Yep.
just want to know the conflict of one, but
Yep.
you know, where we're going. The other one is draft a motion from the MEO a report. What we just talked about something. We talked about we can't build in our reservations certain areas.
This has nothing to do with any of that.
what's your question, Councillor?
But the person that I'm looking at here now, I don't know who they are. It says Forest Road anyway.
He needs to get a permit. He needs to fill out the permit
Yeah, but hold on.
application.
We're saying here removal of the deck.
Yeah, because
When
that's.
did we let him put the deck in there in the beginning?
We didn't let him put the deck there. He built the deck without the
That's
permit.
what I'm trying to say. So
Yes.
if he got a deck there, we should have stopped that process before
We-
we got to this.
no, 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 no.
Before we got to this process, guys.
Okay, so you kind of have to go through
Tell you what
development.
we're going to do, let's address the chair, because we're going to be talking back and forth here.
You have to go through the development committee. I guess if you look back on your last year and a half of meetings regarding this particular deck, this has been ongoing. The person who needs to apply for the application said he was going to come in and get it. Then he came in and get it, and then he didn't pay the fee. Then it was made more non-conforming. After he built the deck, he enclosed the deck. So there's been multiple letters, reminders. Now, unfortunately, we're gone to the order part because with all the stuff in development, there is a process. You don't just build something that's not in compliance and get an automatic order to tear it down. You get reminders, letters, phone calls, visits. There's a process.
I understand that, but what I'm saying, the only thing I'm saying is from here on in, what we need to do is we want to make sure before that deck is put in place and we got to go through this, it doesn't be put there.
Well, the onus is on the homeowner to apply for the permit to build
But it's also
anything.
The onus is also on our MEO. as he's serving us as making sure that things are done. right in the
I don't think you can place all of that on a municipal enforcement officer. If you're doing work at your house, you as the homeowner, the onus is on you to make sure that you have the appropriate
I understand what you're
permits
saying, but
from
remember now
council.
Remember when you and I went to council many years ago, year and a half I've been there, which is now. Remember the words were said, the MEO follows all rules and procedures to the best of his ability, and we should back him. But he shouldn't have let this go this far. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm not saying
But if
bad.
I could just speak to it, like, he can't be all places at all times. I mean, things get built on the weekend. I've seen it myself, with no permit, and the MEO, he can only be so many places, and things are behind people's houses. Someone could build a deck, and he would never know it was there.
Oh, yeah.
But once he finds out, which is, I'm not saying this is the case here, but, he can't be at all places at all times. And
But we need,
and
I
people
know
do
this.
it on a weekend when he's off, or, he does rotate his shifts, so he does work some weekends. And things get
Yeah,
built.
no,
And-
I'm not saying that it's way against the man.
And further to that, the office staff here have gone above and beyond at the front desk to the people in behind in trying to assist this applicant in getting the application, filling it out, pay the fee, advise them of the rules. I mean, contacting him and telling him that, please fill out the application so you don't get the removal order. I mean, we can't, the amount of human resources some of these situations take up. I mean, we spend hours every second week talking about some of the same things over and over again for 2 and 3 years on end. And I mean, that's because we go through the process. You get a call, you get a visit, you get a letter, you get a reminder letter. The order is the last resort. And unfortunately, it has to go there for some residents.
No, I'm not saying that the MEO did not do his job in persistence. I'm saying that everything that happened within means, and every means happens to the reason why. There's a reason why. But to take a year and a half and then all of a sudden put a order on somebody. So if I built a deck a year and a half ago, and now all of a sudden you got a CISO making me remove it, sure, my deck is ratified between a year and a half, 2 years.
So-
I'm on a button there.
so-
all I'm saying is, from here on in, we got to crack down somewhere also.
So are you suggesting we not use the process where people get phone calls and letters and second chances
But
and
it took a
third
year and a half.
chances and
It took a year and a half.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, yeah, because they say they're going to come in and get the permit, and then they say they're going to fill it out, and then they say they pass it in, and then we might need more information, and then they say they're going to pay for it, and then they don't pay for it, and then they don't answer calls from the MEO. It's.
All right. That's all I asked. I only asked a question for that reason. But it took a year and a half to do something, that's all.
I just want to remind councillors that when I ask for a firster and a seconder on a motion and discussion, this is when we should really be discussing that before we vote. But Councillor Noah?
I get the points being made by both, and it's not as simple. I just wanted to make something clear here. If the town, or the MEO, or any of these town staff could have stopped that in the process, it would have been done. Every effort was made to try to address that. But unfortunately, not everybody complies with the expectations that we have. Even though we reach out and go beyond, as Councillor O'Grady pointed out, some people do it in the evening, they do it on the weekends, trying to hide away. And, one of the things that my concern now is that I'd like to know how long, we've started the process of reviewing the town plan. And I know that 3 of the ones that we have here today, you got to operate under conditions, under rules that you have right now. But some of the ones that are coming up for discussions now, about might be a greenhouse or a fence or a distance or whatever it might be. We've started the process of reviewing the town plan, and we expect to have a draft done within the near future. Does anyone know how long a period will be time before the new town plan will be put in place? Because if someone is considering building a greenhouse now, they might not comply right now, but if they, would take it whole off for a period of time, they may be able to build their greenhouse a little bigger, a little closer, or I'll just use that as one example. But I think it would be important for us to know, if we had some idea as to when would because we're asking people to give us the feedback now. So when we come to the time where we're going to approve the town plan, we want to know your concerns. And some of them are being obviously addressed here. Some have been addressed for, as Councillor Doyle pointed out, a year and a half with some of these that we're finally getting to the stage of
Some are longer.
down the deck. Right? It's unfortunate it got to that. But for people who are considering building decks, building greenhouses, fences, Like, what's the time frame that we can expect to have a new
Green-
town plan in place?
Greenhouses is something I can speak to, because greenhouses is one of the items that drove us to wanting to review the municipal plan. Because of COVID, so many people, wanted to do this. I don't know if the clerk has the timeline for the complete review. I guess it would
I
depend
think it's
on
going to be the
feedback.
spring of
Put it
2024.
up during the presentation, right?
Is it?
Put up his time frame.
Okay.
Spring of 2024,
Yeah.
I believe. Spring of 2024.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, Councillor Doyle,
Is that correct, ETDO?
Councillor Doyle's making some good points there. And if there's anybody who knows around these tables, like where you find the issues throughout time, would be that committee. That would be the committee that finds the do's and the don'ts. And so I'm hoping that committee has a large input into like what they've been going through as it pertains to getting permits passed and so on and so forth. I think it's an important exercise, and I think that, like, most of all, I remember years ago, and I'm just going to use this as a scenario, and it was an issue with building sheds, and you couldn't allow them to go over 13 feet. That was from the top of the roof, we say, down to the ground. Couldn't be over 13 feet, and I remember quite like it was yesterday, and it became a large issue. Like even a baby barn, a small baby barn, you got a job to build it within the 13 feet. And so it came back to council, we changed it. A lot of headaches went away because of it. And then it was a new standard there, it was a new set of rules there. And same thing here now. And I think Councillor Doyle, you and your committee, you should certainly see the what gives you grief in
And if I could say one final thing on this matter, if two of those resolutions, if those particular people just came in and got the permit and filled it out and paid their fee, it would have saved the development committee hours upon hours upon hours of time and manpower here in the office and everything else, but it gets to that point where, the committee has gone through everything that they've gone through and worked, with it, and the staff in particular. It's tying up, people that we're paying here in the office to do, work that they can't otherwise do when they're being tied up trying to get people to get permits, so.
Okay, thank you, guys. We'll move on now to Recreation, Special Events, Culture, and Tourism. Councillor Seymour.
And good evening to everybody. Nothing new on our podcast here, just a few things we went over. It was a late meeting here for us, and we got a few things on the move here. Talking about some landscaping getting done. We got the pump in the pool and everything is done. We will be having a backup pump down the road and everything in the future, so we can not fail to have anything closed down for a week or more. So that's looked into. We also looked into the tulip event that's coming up for us, guys. We got a tulip festival and everything arising, and some ongoing items there that we discussed, and that's still ongoing. So if there's any questions other than that, you can give them to me. And our Director of Recreation is also here to answer questions, and the DTO.
Any questions for Councillor Seymour? Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to number 8, Director of Operations and Public Works, Mr. Farrell.
Thanks very much. So my report is in the Dropbox, of course. I've highlighted some areas of interest, and I don't think I can be heard on YouTube, can I?
What's that?
You're echoing because I can't pick you up the mic.
Okay. I got Gary shaking her head at me. How's this? That's good? Okay. No, okay. So yeah, my report is in the Dropbox. I've highlighted areas of note. One thing I'd like to bring your attention to is Valley Road Phase 4. That's gone to tender, and that's closing on the 2nd of June. So more to come on that one in particular. I've got 2 draft resolutions. These are for purchases that are already approved in our budget. So number one is be it resolved to purchase a confined space entry system from Granger, Canada via the canoe procurement system for $5,826.54 plus HST.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to add a little bit to that because this never came before the Public Works Committee. This is something Ian and I talked about today, so I just wanted to say that for those two gentlemen over there, Councillor Knoll and Councillor Seymour. So I make that motion, Mr.
Okay.
Mayor.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Seymour. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Okay, and the second purchase, again, is in our budget. Be it resolved to purchase 2 traffic counter units from Construction Signs Limited via the canoe procurement system for $9,350 plus HST.
I so move, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Noel. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
And that's it. Any questions, you can touch base with me during the week.
Any
I had
questions for the
one
director?
question just regarding the water shut-off. I just got a few messages from people who live on the hills. It will take longer for people who are on higher elevation to get their water back, correct, than if you were in a flatter part of town just because of the pump house and the work in that?
Yeah, we got to go and start those pump houses up after they actually get water to them.
Okay, so people should expect them back this evening, but at different parts of town will come back at different times?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Councillor Noel.
Just one suggestion too, probably when you mention Valley Road Phase 4, just for the people listening, they might be able to define it's from here to here. And if you kind of go forward basis, if you don't
Sure.
know it right now.
I don't know off the top of my head,
Okay.
but yeah, I'll
Thank
keep that in mind for sure.
The pump house on, I call it Bond Street, is that automatically reset, or is that manually done?
That's up on Bennett's Hill?
Yes.
No, that will have to go back and we'd have to go visit the site and turn that one
Didn't
on.
we have a setup one time that it was going to be automatically done? Is that the one?
Yeah, well, we shut that one off manually, knowing that shut off was coming.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, but yeah, that one is a little bit more advanced compared to the other ones that we have. Yeah.
It came up at a fire hall meeting one time that if in the middle of the night if it tripped out, we would have to get someone to come in to start it again. But I thought it was set up for automatic kick-in.
It depends on what kicks it out.
Okay.
That's become the issue now, Mr. Mayor,
Dennis, yeah.
that one regards of when the firemen are using the water
Yeah.
and the pump houses kicks out one thing or another, that's become an issue now.
Yes.
And so that's going to be coming forward to the next Public Works meeting.
Okay.
And so we're going to try to deal with that. I do remember Long Hills pump house. Every time we say lights flicked or anything, we say that pump used to go out. And Sean Bishop, which was doing the work for us at that point in time.
We're not going to mention any names there.
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's
Mr.
okay.
Mayor.
Just wanna-
I apologize. But anyway, he was doing the work for us at that point in time. And they did design something up in that pump house that once the pump went out, she automatically kicked back in. So it became a known thing then. I thought it was going to be used on this new pump house, the one in Bennett's Hill, and also another pump house that I can't mention.
Yes. Add them to your list.
Add it to the list.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And now we're going to go to the Director of Recreation, Mr. Button.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You got your mic on?
My mic working?
Nope.
Are we good now? Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Unfortunately, I didn't get my report out in time for Dropbox, but I think Janice may have copied everybody.
I think she might put it in at the last minute.
Oh, did she? Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
ahead.
all good? All right, so just give you a quick kind of report of what's been going on the last couple of weeks. as mentioned in the committee report, the work at the universal change room for the floor drainage is complete. Since it's been in operation, it seems to be collecting the water as we had hoped, and it's taking care of a lot of the problems. So all showers are in operation for that particular part of the pool. Number two, the parks, my seasonal staff has started, so they've been busy since the 1st of May, full week of May when they began. They have all the parks and playgrounds cleaned up. They've done some small repairs to the rinks. Our tennis nets and soccer nets have been installed, and we have our new in-ground picnic tables installed at our playgrounds as well. This week now we're going to be working on some ball field maintenance and grooming to get that up and ready for the upcoming season. Not sure if this one is on your report that you have, because it was something that came up just as I was leaving the pool. We do need a new pool vacuum, so I went on and researched a few companies that I deal with for this regard and came up with a price of $2,550 plus HST and shipping from Water and Ice North America. So I'd like to be able to get a motion for that
Did
purchase.
that go to recreation, or?
What's that?
I'll make that motion and purchase that food.
So where is that to? Where am I reading that one? I don't see that.
It's
one.
not in. It's not in the report.
Okay.
It was something that I added before I came out because it was something that came up just as I was leaving the pool.
I'm sorry I let the council down. We almost got through the meeting without someone reminded to use the mic. So, anyway, I'd make that motion, Mr. Button, that we purchase that vacuum from that company for the amount price you stated.
Okay. Seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favor? Councillor Minor, motion passed.
Thank you. Just quick look there at our lesson registration and pool visitations, our lesson registrations are way up this year, which is a good sign that people are coming back to the pool and taking advantage of the programs we have to offer, as well as our pool visitations are slightly up as well, so it's good to see. I will provide a pool revenue update at my next meeting. Some of the things that I was looking for this week weren't quite updated on our system, so I didn't want to I wanted to give an accurate picture, not something that was, so we'll have that for the next meeting. Programs and grants. Our annual award ceremony is scheduled for tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, being held at the multipurpose room at the swimming pool. All of our invites have been sent out, and we're looking forward to celebrating a wonderful evening with our volunteers and athletes of the community for their achievements over the last year and more. So I do encourage you all to attend if you would like and help us celebrate. Our recreation master plan, I've been given the date of June 2nd for the final draft, so once that comes out, we'll be sure to share it with the committee and all of council and look at what steps there are to take moving forward in our recreation plan. And we do have a new event coming this summer. I'm in the process of putting together the advertisement, so I just want to let you guys in the community keep their eyes and ears open for that. It's a brand new event that we're hoping to attract people to our community come the end of summer. So I don't want to release too many details right until I have it all finalized, but by the end of the week we should have our advertisement out to let everybody know what should be happening. Special events concert has been advertised. Yeah, tickets are on sale now, I do believe. No. Soon, right. Yep, that's all my report. If there's any questions?
Any questions for the Director of Recreation?
Has the playpen or high chair or anything been purchased for the change rooms? Because I got another call on that.
So I have been investigating that playpens are not an option at our facility. Mainly there's two reasons. First being cleanliness. We did have them years ago, but what we found was that when they got wet, they got moldy, smelly, couldn't clean, hard to clean because of cloth material getting inside and that kind of stuff. The second option is that, or the second reason we can't have a playpen is that, well, I suppose we can have them, but with our new change room, universal, if we put those playpens in a common area and the adult has to go into a change stall to change, the child is left unattended. So there are some other things that we can look at. I am looking at some options maybe for in the stalls themselves, but right now I don't have that figured out yet.
we ask what some other facilities are using? Because like we want to encourage, parents and tots to be using the pool since we've got those swims. But I can understand the frustration of parents who have small children who don't fit in the infant carriers anymore. They got nowhere to put them to get dressed themselves. So if we could expedite that.
So I don't understand we do have change stalls with benches, and we do have family change stalls that have change tables. So why wouldn't the child be with the parent in the change stall?
I have no idea, but I've gotten multiple calls.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Just from parents.
One in here, grab the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there could be parents in there
But
with two. Yeah.
So if there are these concerns, and you are getting them, can you ask them people to come speak to us as to
Yeah,
what the
I think
concerns
they
are?
have. They've gone.
I haven't gotten anything at the pool.
They've gone to the front desk and asked, and all the rest of it. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
ask them to bring it along to me, and I'll see what I
Okay.
can do to address it.
One little question there, the westerly fence for the tennis court, those big high fence, I think it was taken down when we put the two ice surfaces in. But for people who like tennis, it's frustrating to chasing the ball. I don't know if that fence is up now, or is it still down?
Not sure what part of where you're talking about.
What I'm talking about? Well, to the west of the tennis courts. You know how the tennis courts has a big high fence right around it? Well, I think it was taken down when some of the fencing was changed when the ice
Yeah, I'd have to. So I don't know. There is one section that we took out
Yeah, is that back?
to create
Yeah.
access to the tennis courts and ball hockey rinks from inside the complex, so that the children didn't have to go out into the parking lot
Yeah.
to get there. Other than that, I'd have to see what you mean. So the westerly side would be the far end, right?
Yeah.
No, there was never a fence there. No, because
No?
that was always, there was two on the bottom, two on the top, and that was just a grassy area.
Okay, is there any plans to put a fence there? Like when you're playing tennis, in nature of the game, the ball goes flying, and you gotta go chasing it, right? So I don't know,
That's
the recreation
something we
committee
can
have-
look at and see. I don't like to put up too many fences, but we can, we can look, I'd certainly look at it and see if there's
Yeah.
something we can do there for sure, yeah.
So there was never a fence there.
So the recreation master plan there, you say June 2nd for release of the final draft. I'm not sure what you mean by final draft, but is that?
Well,
coming
that'll be
back-
the
coming back to
actual,
council?
that'll be the actual plan, yeah.
So, yeah, is that gonna come back to council though before this is released? We haven't seen,
Yeah, it'll come here and then we'll release to the public, yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The invoice listing is in your Dropbox. Resolve to approve operating invoices over $2,000 in the amount of $87,566.57. Aye. So,
Oh, back again.
Morse code.
Maybe you need a solar one. Okay, so did you get all the information there? Moved by, who moved that? Councillor O'Grady, second by Councillor Snow. All in favor. Thank you. All right,
So I think the capital invoice, now we probably got some conflicts on the first one.
Yes, correct. Adelaide Street Phase 2.
So phase, okay, we gotta ask this question again.
What? Oh, okay. So I think it's just the 2? Or no?
So it
where does
goes,
phase two,
does that end at Crossroads though, or
that's from Crossroads out to Water Street?
Crossroads to Water Street? Yeah, so, okay, I'll skip that one because I'm also in a conflict. And we'll do the other ones first, I guess. And,
Okay.
yeah. So we'll do the other ones, resolve to approve, Meridian Engineering Incorporated invoice, no, okay, sorry,
Next
that's
one
the
down
wrong
from
one.
it.
Water Street upgrading Phase 2, GI 21-00075, Harris and Associates Engineering invoice number 7036, the amount of $10,147.49. Also Harris and Associates Engineering invoice number 7036. Black Diamond Construction Limited, claim number 1 for $52,317.38. And the last one, Power Drive upgrading Phase 2, Harborside Transportation Consultants invoice number 2763 for the amount of $1,449.
Okay, moved by Councillor O'Grady, seconded by Councillor Seymour. Discussion? All in favour? Councillor Monitt, motion passed.
Okay, so Adelaide Street, my brother has a house there, so I had to leave.
And Councillor Seymour?
Adelaide Street upgrades, Phase 2, Meridian Engineering Incorporation, invoice number CC107260, in the amount of $10,962.18.
Moved by Councillor Doyle, seconded by Deputy Mayor Slade. Discussion? All in favour? Councillor Monitt, motion passed. You can call the councillors in.
And that's it for me.
Okay, move on now. Regulations on, notice of motion 0, new business, adjournment. Our next council meeting is the 13th of June. Is that correct? And I think, as you mentioned before, the awards night is tomorrow night. Is that open to the public as well? Okay, all right. All right. Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Noel. All in favour?